The holding cell on Station Arcturus 7 wasn't designed for comfort. It was designed for containment. Jax had heard the stories. Every dock worker, every security grunt, every maintenance tech whispered about the creature in cell block Omega. 12 feet of lethal grace and alien fury. She'd killed 3 guards during her capture on the mining colony of Kepler 442b. Ripped them apart with her bare hands before they'd finally subdued her with enough tranquilizers to drop an Earth elephant. The standing order was simple. No one enters. No one feeds her. Let her starve until the Council decides her fate. But Jax had never been good at following orders. He stood before the energy barrier now, a protein pack trembling in his gloved hand. Through the crackling blue field, he could see her. Rava. That's what her arrest file had called her. She sat in the far corner, her silver-white skin gleaming under the harsh fluorescent lights. Her body was humanoid but distinctly alien, elongated limbs, 4 arms instead of 2, and eyes that burned like molten copper. She was magnificent, and she was dying. "They say you'll kill me," Jax said quietly, more to himself than to her. Those copper eyes snapped to him. For a moment, neither moved. Then Jax did something incredibly stupid. He reached for the barrier controls. "Don't," came a weak voice. Her voice. It was deeper than he'd expected, with a resonance that seemed to vibrate in his chest. "Human, don't be a fool." Jax's hand hovered over the control panel. "You're starving, and you're about to die." Despite her words, there was no malice in her tone. Only exhaustion. "Maybe." Jax pressed the button. The barrier flickered and dissolved. Rava didn't move. She watched him with an intensity that made his survival instincts scream. Every muscle in her massive frame was coiled. Ready. One wrong move, and she could cross the distance between them in a heartbeat. Jax tossed the protein pack. It landed halfway between them. "I've seen what starvation does," he said. "My colony nearly died from it during the drought years. Nobody should die that way. Not even a monster?" Rava finished. Her gaze dropped to the protein pack, then back to him. "That's what your kind calls mine. I was going to say not even someone accused of murder." Jax kept his hands visible, non-threatening. "I read your file. Those guards killed your clutch sister. You were defending yourself." Something flickered across Rava's alien features. Surprise. Perhaps. Or pain. Slowly, deliberately, she reached for the protein pack. Her lower set of arms remained braced on the floor, ready to spring, while her upper hands carefully opened the packaging. She ate methodically, never taking her eyes off him. "Why?" she asked between bites. "Because someone should have done it sooner." Jax backed toward the door. "I'll come back tomorrow." He reactivated the barrier and left before his courage failed him. Jax returned the next day, and the next. Each time, he brought food. Each time, Rava watched him with those burning copper eyes, saying nothing. On the 4th day, she spoke. "You're risking your employment, your freedom." Rava tilted her massive head. "The security feeds show you coming here. They know." 1. "Let them know." Jax sat down outside the barrier. He'd stopped being afraid on day 2. "They're wrong about you. You don't know that. Don't I?" Jax pulled out his datapad, displaying her file. "Vralthian culture prohibits killing except in defense of Clutch. Your sister was murdered for refusing a mining supervisor's advances. You defended her body so it could receive proper death rights. They call it murder. I call it honor." Rava's 4 arms trembled. For a terrifying moment, Jax thought she might cry if Vralthians could cry. "No one has spoken of honor to me since my capture," she said quietly. "Then they're idiots." That earned him something that might have been a laugh. It was a strange sound, like wind through deep caverns. From that day forward, their conversations grew longer. Rava told him of Vralth, her homeworld, where warriors were poets and poetry was combat. Jax told her of Earth, of deserts and oceans, and the stubborn human refusal to give up even when logic demanded it. "Your species is insane," Rava said one evening, something almost affectionate in her voice. "We prefer persistent." Jax replied with a grin. On day 12, Station Command finally noticed. Or rather, they finally cared. Commander Steele himself came to Cell Block Omega, flanked by armed guards. "Jax, step away from the prisoner." Jax didn't move from his spot outside the barrier. "She has a name. She has a name. She has a name. She's a convicted murderer awaiting execution. She's an innocent being who defended her family." Jax stood, positioning himself between the guards and Rava's cell. "And I won't let you." 17. Jax's Oni Bilden. The barrier deactivated. Everyone froze. Rava stood at full height, towering over them all. Her forearms flexed, and Jax saw the coiled power in her massive frame. She could kill them all in seconds. Instead, she moved to stand beside Jax. Behind him, actually, protecting him. "You will not harm this human," Rava said, her voice carrying the weight of thunder. "He showed mercy when your kind showed none. He offered honor when you offered only death. If you wish to execute me, do so. But he leaves unharmed." Commander Steele's hand moved to his sidearm. "Stand down, prisoner. Or what?" Jax surprised himself with his own courage. "You'll shoot us both? That'll look great in the reports. Commander executes unarmed maintenance worker and restrained alien prisoner." The standoff lasted an eternity. Finally, Steele lowered his weapon. "Council's reviewing her case anyway." New evidence came to light about the mining colony incident. He glared at Jax. Someone anonymously sent them footage from the security systems. Jax kept his expression neutral, but Rava's lower left hand briefly touched his shoulder, a gesture of gratitude. 3 weeks later, Rava was exonerated. The council issued a formal apology and offered reparations. She was free to go. Jax went to see her off at the docking bay. Her transport ship hummed with readiness. "You could come with me," Rava said suddenly. "Vralth could use someone with your persistence." Jax smiled. "Is that what you're calling it now? Your species does have a word for it." Rava's copper eyes gleamed. "Humanity. Fuck yeah? I believe?" Jax laughed until his sides hurt. "Leave it to an alien to weaponize humanity's most defiant rallying cry." "Maybe I will," he said. "Someone needs to make sure you stay out of trouble." Rava's laugh echoed through the docking bay like rolling thunder. "Fool human. You're the one who keeps finding it." As they boarded the ship together, Jax realized something. He'd entered that cell, planning to feed a prisoner and leave. Instead, he'd found something else entirely. He'd found a friend, and perhaps a future. The universe was a dark, cold place. But humans had a gift for bringing light to the darkest corners. Even if it meant walking into cages everyone else was too afraid to approach. That, Jax thought as the ship launched toward distant stars, was what made humanity extraordinary. They cared when caring was dangerous. They helped when helping was foolish. And they never, ever, let fear decide who deserved kindness.